What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seen the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Speaker Mike Johnson says the House Oversight Committee is demanding data from Tim Walz and AG Keith Ellison and requesting interviews with Minnesota officials who were allowed or participated in this fraud. If y'all don't know, about the fraud that's going on, all you got to do is type in Minnesota in Google and it will pop up. That's how big it is. Pause. When it comes down to all the fraud that's going down. And it's happening everywhere. This is just one of the biggest. You have it in California. You definitely have it in California a lot. A lot of fraud. A lot of things going on, especially when it comes down to Gavin Newsom. But just, if y'all haven't heard about it, trust me. Look up Minnesota, it'll pop up. Says it's jaw-dropping reporting is an indictment of both the national news media, dangerous office holders in Minnesota like Tim Walz, who have allowed these massive fraud schemes to occur over the years. No more. Johnson says the committee is also obtaining data from Treasury and DOJ. We need prosecutions to make it happen. And I definitely agree on that too, as well, because you got to think, like, we've been talking about on how much, how should I say this? How many things have happened? How many things have happened and you don't really see, too many arrests. You don't see, and I'd rather see those things, and I don't want to wish bad on nobody. I don't want to, make it seem, a certain type of way, speak ill on anybody. But I truly feel as if, when you're doing bad and when it's, this crime that's going on, how dirty these individuals are, something definitely needs to happen. Brings me to this. Says here, Tim Walz refuses to apologize for the Somali fraud allowed in his state. Check it out right here.
Governor Walz, what can you say about the latest on the Somali fraud that happened under your watch, sir?
Governor, have you been able to apologize yet to the people of Minnesota for allowing this Somali fraud to continue under your watch?
Of the people of Minnesota.
Is it time to apologize? How about the whistleblowers that you have allegedly retaliated against? Would you like to respond to the whistleblowers?
And right now, our neighbors are being demonized. Our neighbors are being terrorized. Our neighbors are being kicked up off the streets. The antidote to that is positive actions to improve lives that go against what they're trying to do. So instead of demonizing our Somali community, we're going to do more to welcome more in and welcome people back. Instead of cutting programs, we're going to enhance.
I truly just don't see how, an individual, and it's almost like, he's in a sense that he's getting ran, when it comes down to it. And him, having a answer to something. I mean, it's something, because there's no way you just tend to these individuals, these Somalians, and they truly just don't care about Americans. Like it's really like crazy to me. It's truly crazy to me. I don't see how they're wanting this, at all. You got a Somalian right here. It says Somali in Minnesota claims that only Americans with no life are angry about Somali fraud. Check it out, y'all. Before I say something I don't mean to say on here.
Only Americans who's concerned with the Somali business is the ones who have no life. They have a lot of time in their hand. They broke. They don't have no money, no ambition, nothing. They don't even have hobbies. They depressed. They lonely. There's always those type of people who care about situations like this. People who have something going on for their life, right? They're busy in their career, their family, they taking vacation, they're enjoying their life. They're not concerned with the Somalians in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Only people you will see who's worrying about this is not even racist. They just broke. They just don't have anything going on. They're broken spiritually, physically, and financially. That's what it is. They don't have any.
So most of the people that are having a problem, with this fraud that's going on are individuals who definitely believe in God, and I myself, pray to God, and all. The second thing is, He got, spiritually, emotionally, seemed pretty good. I feel like over the last year, it definitely has been something. I definitely say, and it's been like that for a little minute. I definitely feel as if, a lot of individuals are coming back, to themselves, about a lot of things. I do. Then you have, he said, financially. The same individuals that are concerned about, this stuff that's going on in Minnesota are individuals who go to work, individuals, like myself, and, that's doing what they need to do, spreading out information, again, going to work, having a career, doing things. And not only that, paying taxes. So I'm just confused. I'm truly, truly confused. But then again, you have this individual speaking like this, not making sense whatsoever. And this is what makes me mad. This is what definitely makes me mad. But hey, one thing about it, it'll get handled. I know it'll get handled. Trust and believe, it'll definitely get handled. These individuals, they obviously they're not working. Nick Shirley just put out, his daycares. It's literally daycares that don't have kids in them. So they just sit in the office on their phones, not doing nothing. Healthcare services, no clients, no patients whatsoever. Sitting in the office on the phones, doing nothing. Literally doing nothing. Came here, got 7,000, got a lot of assistance, all that. Oh, nine. Telling y'all. Got it here. It says Elon Musk calls Tim Walz a traitor, as his state's flag resembles the Somali flag. While Somalis steal billions from the taxpayers under his watch, it's pretty obvious Tim Walz was in on all of it. Definitely. Telling you. Definitely. I agree. Definitely agree. Here's Anna Paulina Luna goes off on Minnesota Somali fraud scandal. Check it out right here.
The Oversight Committee gets out of this investigation.
Look, I think I share the same frustrations with many Americans in that who wants to see another hearing without there actually being charges brought against people that are essentially defrauding the federal government and stealing from American citizens that deserve a lot of these resources that they're stealing. And so I'm hoping that we'll bring these people forward, that they can give us names and people that the DOJ can arrest. But I don't want there to just be another announcement, another angry, 15-second tweet on X, and then have it go away. I think that the DOJ needs to perp walk people if they've broken the law.
Definitely. And I feel like I myself and you that's watching feel the same way. And if you don't feel that way, then you might as well be there doing it with them. I mean, that's just me being 100% honest. You got a billion stolen. Not only are there people that are literally homeless and can't get assistance and having trouble, but there's people that have served for this country. And it's it's definitely hard trying to get that assistance, trying to get those benefits. I'm telling y'all. Not only that, like she said, it's money funneled overseas. I put out a video, and y'all can go check this video out. I put out a video yesterday, and a TSA, former TSA in Minnesota, explained, and said that there were millions, funneled overseas. Not only millions funneled overseas, but also passports. I'm telling y'all. Got it here. This is Benny Johnson. I'm only going to play some of this clip because a lot of this, is Nick Shirley from what I posted, over the week. But check out what Benny Johnson has to say.
Most viral clips on the internet right now are from Nick Shirley, an independent journalist, YouTuber, who's like 23 years old. This dude has gone to Somali businesses and exposed their fraud just by knocking on the door. The footage is remarkable. Every single business is a front. Every single business is fake. We live in a complete... The single most viral clips on the internet right now are from Nick Shirley, an independent journalist, YouTuber, who's like 23 years old. This dude has gone to Somali businesses and exposed their fraud just by knocking on the door. The footage is remarkable. Every single business is a front. Every single business is fake. We live in a completely fake, fraudulent world. Check out this footage. It's just going to make your blood boil. Every single business, he just gets screamed at, and they call the cops on him. He's just trying to use their services, right? Childcare or healthcare, and none of it's real.
And that's all the more reason on why I continue to say that if there's any individual that disagrees that something, should be taken further, when it comes to Tim Walz, Keith Ellison, Ilhan Omar, and many others, that's involved. I truly feel as if, and again, individuals that think, that they're in the right about this, and they don't agree with what I'm saying, what individuals are saying on my channel, then I feel like you might as well be there with them. I mean, doing the same thing, and you just as wrong as they are, because I just truly just don't see how, people think that this is something that's just okay. I truly don't. I know that people in Minnesota, there's people that's in Minnesota. I've heard that, people are leaving Minnesota, literally moving away from Minnesota because, so much fraud, that's going on. You hear so many individuals that's living in Minnesota that's going through, I'm going to show y'all, and stay tuned for my next video that I'm going to be dropping, because I'm going to show y'all on how bad it is. I'm going to be honest, going deep. I didn't want to show the videos. I didn't want to show the videos at all because I try to, I love my channel. So, but I'm going to show a couple videos on how bad it is, and people literally go through a lot, and they're saying, that it's not the same. You're seeing it in different places, we literally seen it, in Ohio, even. There's a lot of places, that this is definitely, happening with these Somalians. And it's definitely insane. Says we don't want to see hearings about the massive fraud uncovered in Minnesota. We want to see mass arrests. Check it out.
First of all, we need to put all kinds of pressure on the state agencies to give us their records. I'm chairman of the Permanent Subcommittee Investigations. This will be a primary focus of ours. We're already reaching out to Nick Shirley and David and other people who can provide testimony for this, but we also need documents. So, these agency heads who funnel the federal money to the state agencies, they have to demand that the state agencies are transparent. And unfortunately, particularly in Democrat-controlled states, they're not. They're refusing to turn over those records. I've got subpoena power. I will use that subpoena power to obtain these records, because we have to get to the bottom of this. Understand, Somalis have just been in this country a few years. They're amateurs when it comes to fleecing the federal government. And let's face it, the federal government is probably the easiest consumer, the easiest payer to fleece, and states do it time and time again. So this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, Senator, I want to get into the issues.
Definitely. I'm telling y'all, one thing about it, again, and I truly agree, arrest needs to be made. Arrests definitely need to be made. But before that happens, I want them to gather as much information, as much things, to have going forward. And I feel like this in general, when it comes to Keith Ellison, Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, and, many other Somalians, it needs to be more of an example. I definitely feel like this needs to be more of an example, and I don't want it to be swept up on the rug. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the next video. Catch y'all next one.